What's up, everyone? It's Dave Stone with another exciting episode of Develop Awesome Skills. And today I'm here in Missouri, and if you're from Missouri, you know what those are. This is Black Walnut season, and I actually didn't know what they were when I came down here, so this is what they are. They look kind of like a little pear or an apple, and when they get dark, they look like that. And look what my hand looks like after cleaning up a whole bunch of them. So they're black walnuts. They get you all dirty, but I got a nice little pile down here I'm going to show you. There's a couple really cool things about the black walnut. You can see this one is like starting to turn the black. And I'm going to show you what it looks like when you rip into one of these. And it has a very interesting smell, very interesting aroma. But right down here, I got a nice big pile of them that I just put by a tree. So, black walnuts are actually native to Missouri, and people grow them not only for their wood, but for the walnut. And if you take, they grow wild out here, so if you have a property with a whole bunch of black walnuts on them, whenever they drop, you can bag them up, and I guess take them down to the processing facility and they'll give you $15 for 100 pounds. But they take the shell off before they weigh it. So it's good for the processing facility. It's a lot of labor for the people gathering the black walnuts. But the thing is, you can't really mow the grass when all these walnuts are everywhere. So another cool thing about these that I kind of noticed was, like a peach has a big pit inside of it. Now, we don't eat the pit or the nut inside of the pit of the peach, but we eat the outside flesh. Now this one, we don't eat the outside flesh, we only eat the inside of the pit. So it's very interesting how people figure this stuff out. So let me open one of these up on camera here for you. And it gets your hands really dirty. Actually, I'm gonna prop this camera up. Okay, so here's one of these black walnuts. As you break into it, it's super black. You know, I should be wearing gloves right now, but my hands are gonna be really dirty after this. And you just kind of take that out. And that is the black walnut. See if you can see that a little closer. Just looks like a walnut now. So these are little black walnuts, and I guess they use not only the inside to eat, the meat of it, but also that outside hull and shell is used as an abrasive material to clean engines and stuff, or something like that. I'm not really sure exactly what, but that's what they were saying. Also, the lumber is used. Like these big pieces of wood are used in a lot of decorative building. So maybe you can see with the sun on it a little bit more what that hull looks like. It's a fresh walnut right off the tree. So we were down there cracking them. So you gotta let them dry after this, and then you just take a hammer, crack them, and then a little pick, and you pick all the meat out. So I'll show you that when we get back down there. They used to take them off the farm here and just lay them in the driveway and then drive over them like for a week or something, and then they'd come back and collect them, because then all the hulls will be off of them. So it's an easy way to hull the walnuts. But the lumber is basically for the future generation, because when you're growing black walnuts for lumber, it takes about 50 to 75 years for trees to get big enough to sell. And right now I guess they sell for, I'm not exactly sure how you measure this, but 1,000 linear feet of lumber equals about $2,800. So when you plant a black walnut forest for lumber, it definitely is for the next generation. You're planting for the next generation. But I don't know that I'd really want to plant too much for lumber. You know, I'd really only cut down the trees that were just to thin things out a little bit. But I like trees, so I probably would grow them if I grew them or had them on my property. I'd probably figure out how to get a small processing plant at my house and and process the nuts, because you got to get them out of the yard before you mow it. Otherwise it's gonna be like a little shotgun when you're driving your mower. It's like shooting these black walnuts everywhere. So quick story about why I'm here in Missouri. I was born in Missouri, in Kansas City, Missouri. And my mom was adopted. And growing up, you know, we had a very small family, my mom, my grandma, and my biological dad was in the picture sometimes, but he's a cool guy. I know him now, but I didn't really know him much growing up. So I always had a small family. But since my mom was adopted, she didn't know who her birth parents were. But recently, actually really recently, she found her birth mother. And so they are here in Missouri. So going from a really small family for my whole life, and now our family just got enlarged by a lot. We have a whole bunch of family here in Missouri, and we have a whole bunch of family now in Florida. So it's pretty exciting, you know, expanding the family, but this is their property here in Missouri, and it's just gorgeous. And there's so many black walnuts. There's a little pond down there, so I'll show you a few pieces of this cool property. But yeah, so this is a little video. I just wanted to show you guys about black walnuts because I just learned about them. And I'll show you some that are in the driveway right now. They were running over, and they are all hulled and ready to go. But you gotta let them dry out before you crack them open, I guess. That's what I've been told. So I'm gonna show you a little bit about this property and show you some of the cool permaculture things that they have done here. So my family loves permaculture. My family that I didn't even know. I don't even know if they know the word permaculture, but what they're doing is a lot of really, really cool permaculture techniques and styles. So stay tuned and I'm gonna show you a little bit around. So there's a cool little pasture over here. Love these trees, deciduous trees, massive oak trees. Look at this big mother oak. There's definitely a ton of bugs, but I love bugs now. Look at this beautiful little flower. The bugs are flying around it. They love it just as much as I do. Some pine trees. And so there's a slope here. So if you're looking down that way, the slope kind of comes down, and there is 2 ponds on here. So I'm gonna show you this one here. It's really cool. I mean, there's not necessarily great access to these ponds, but the fact that they're here provides some great habitat. So if you see that pond right up in there through the clearing, it's a small little retention basin, but it created a pond. So I'm gonna come this way and I'm gonna show you what they did with their house. Super cool. So right back there is the pond, and there's like a little pathway through this wooded area. And here is the bigger pond right back through here with the house in the back. So I love walking through the woods. I gotta watch out for poison ivy though. There's so many squirrels, and there's these red squirrels. They're like almost orange, but it's been beautiful out. I guess it's gonna start getting cold here right when I leave, but it's been gorgeous. But yeah, I gotta watch out for poison ivy. I actually don't even know what it looks like. I mean, I think I saw one, but so it has 3 leaves. So yeah, there's so many walnut hulls and hazelnut, I think, or chestnut. something. Okay, so here is what I'm gonna show you. All right, so if you can see, this is the main pond with their house right here. And the house is an underground house. They dug a hole underground, and the front of the house is facing which direction do you think? South. I know some of you got that. And the reason it's facing south is because, and there's an overhang, and I'm gonna show you a little bit closer on the house to see what I'm talking about, but the overhang comes over a south-facing exposure because in the summertime, the sun is pretty much straight overhead, so it actually shades the house. But in the wintertime, the sun arcs south, lower in the sky, so the sun will actually come into the house and warm up the house. So south-facing exposure is a great way to build an underground house. And up here, I'm walking on the dam. So what they did was they had a water retention basin here, but they just pulled some dirt out of the back, way over there. They had an excavator, pulled dirt out, and they built this dam right here. And it created a pond. Now over here, you can see it goes a little bit lower. It's a little bit lower right back here because that's an overflow. So anytime it rains too much, it won't flood out the house because of the concrete, and that's a higher elevation than the overflow. So this right here is where it flows out. Let's see if I can get you a little better shot of that. So this is right here is where the overflow happens, and it goes right that way, all the way down the hill into the creek at the bottom. So this dam is very green. You can walk right across it. It's just dirt. And it creates an amazing little habitat. Standing on the front porch, sitting on the chairs, it's just like a gorgeous thing to look at. You see all the squirrels running around, the frogs jumping, a little gazebo that they built. So it's just a beautiful, beautiful place. They built it down into a small valley, but high enough elevation to where their house wouldn't get flooded out. So such a cool concept, and really cool place to hang out. So I'm going to show you a little bit more, and then I'm going to show you the overhang on the house because it's cool.
Those are the holes, and this is the meat.
Nice.
Is it good?
Mm-hmm. It's very bold. Very strong flavor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they are. They are.
A nutty, strong
It's good flavor.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
All right, so this is the driveway. You can see it works real well. Just putting them in the driveway, driving right over them, holds them up real nice. I mean, this seems like the outside would be great for compost, but out here in Missouri, you don't really have to worry about mulching, because check it out. It's just every year you get brand new mulch. Look at all these walnuts everywhere. But yeah, they're all over this driveway here. So many, and they're already hulled. Boom. They have so many walnuts. So beautiful out tonight, or this afternoon. There really is something about being out in the forested areas. In Arizona, I'm trying to build a forest. Out here, they have to manage the forest because it grows so fast. But they can't really grow any tropicals out here, because of the snow. So I get to grow tropicals. See that behind me? You guys know what that is? It's a magnolia. Such a beautiful tree. I see these in California all the time, in Florida. But Beautiful tree. And it even has some flower pods on this one. So I don't know if this is pre-flower. I think this is post-flower. It looks like it might be pre-flower. I don't know much about magnolias, but I just know they make the most beautiful flowers. This is a seed pod. So that's post-flower. Wow. It's got some beautiful seeds in there. They're red. I might be borrowing some of these seeds. Oh, I think there's a dried one up here. Yeah, look at that seeds. Oh my goodness. Very red. So right down here for the little gazebo, coming up is the house. Built into the side here. So it's really cool because you know, the dirt and the soil is right over top of it. So it's nice for insulation. And I mean, you could actually have like a nice little garden up on the roof there. I mean, it's really just grass and stuff growing right now, but it's pretty awesome. I mean, it's really, really good to keep the temperature even inside the house. And then right across from the house is this beautiful little pond. So that wasn't a pond right here. It was just a small drainage ditch. And right over there, if you could see, that's where the dam is. So they pulled some more dirt out of this area and they dammed it up, and they put the overflow that I showed you right over there on the edge. I don't know if you can see that area, but that's where it'll overflow if it ever gets too much water in here. The only thing I would probably try to do is put some kind of a stream, even a little waterfall or some kind of a pump, maybe a solar powered pump that would pump the water. But it doesn't seem to have too many mosquitoes. In fact, there's a lot of fish in here, so they'll be eating all the mosquitoes. So anyways, pretty cool. So I'll go up on top of the roof now, and I'll show you what the roof of this house looks like. There's a tractor up there. Nice walk up here, and then there's a cool little tractor. On top of the roof, which has grass on it, which is great insulation. So you kind of come over here. Now I'm standing on the roof. Big skylight right in the middle. Some vents over there, air conditioning, some other vents over there. But I gotta say, pretty cool. And then right over, there's the gazebo. And then this is the view when you sit on top of the roof. So as far as a roof deck, this is a garden roof deck. And there's the pond. So the cool thing about this is that when it was poured, they put some forms. They dug the big hole out, put some forms inside, and then poured the cement structure around the forms. There's another couple ways to do it that I've actually researched and seen. If you dig a big hole underground, you put some big rafters and beams for some big beams that'll hold up some ceiling joists, and they can be decorative, but you want really nice big thick ones. Then you fill the whole thing with sand all the way up to the top of those beams. And then what you do is you can make any kind of decorative stuff on top of the sand, and then you come in and pour your concrete right over top of that. Let it cure, then come inside with a shovel and dig out all the sand, and you're left with a dome. So that's not what they did with this building here, this underground house, but that is another way that you can do it. So I just wanted to show you guys that because it's so awesome. And the way that they oriented this house too, I was telling you about south. South is the best way to orient a house, and north is the best side to have your backyard on, because if you put a patio out your north side on the back side, it's always going to have shade, summertime, wintertime. It's not really a great place to plant a garden unless your garden needs constant shade. So the north side will always get constant shade, but the south side will get winter sun, and if you have an overhang, it'll block the summer sun from the really hot mid part of the day. So anyways, this is an engineered place, super cool. Figured you guys would get a kick out of it. So if you guys have any questions or comments, put them down below, and I'm gonna go eat dinner. So if you like this video, give me a big green thumbs up and share this video with your friends so they can see this cool underground house that is part of my new family. All right, guys, until next time, develop awesome skills, and I love you all.